This month's episodes are presented in partnership with our good friends at Imagewraps.ca. Imagewraps.ca is your home for the best in signs and graphics that will be sure to get you noticed. They offer vehicle graphics, signage, and graphic design services that will help promote a business, event, partnership, or sale with exquisite appeal and a fresh look to bring eyes to you at a great cost. For our racing fans, look no further than some of the best looking race cars you see out on the track. Imagewraps.ca put those together. The cars of Andy Camrath, Cole Camrath, Carter Camrath, Ryland Camrath, Colton Everingham, Corey McAllister, Chad Strawn, Nolan Gould, Roy Wilkie, Layla Walzer, and every guest of ours this month all had their cars done by Imagewraps.ca. These cars shine on track while appealing to the partnerships on board. That is what Imagewraps.ca can deliver for you as well. Reach out to them at Imagewraps.ca if you want to glow on track with bright fonts, shiny wraps, designs that you reach and are appealing to the eye. We are so excited to present Image Wraps Month here on SNS, and we can't wait to see more of their designs on track. Not only they can offer this, but if you'd like designs for your race team, logos, marketing tools like banners, business cards, brochures, decals, they do that as well. This is your home for all things in visual branding. Go to Imagewraps.ca and start your look today.
Hi, this is Mario Andretti, and you're tuned into Cam, Graydon, and the team as Stickers and Scuffs podcast. They're true Canadian racing fans.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast, second episode for Imagewraps.ca month. I want to thank our good friend Craig Camrath, and we're going to bring on Rick Spencer-Walt, who's somebody we wanted to have on the show for, a good couple years now, and we're finally going to make it happen. Rick, how are you?
Doing good. A little sore still, but everything's going pretty good over here.
So Rick has been involved in an accident, not on the racetrack, but on the city streets. So were you wearing your T-shirt when it happened so they knew that they screwed with the wrong guy?
It was the only morning I wish I was wearing the T-shirt. I don't think he needed the T-shirt on to know he messed with the wrong guy, though, so we're all right.
Oh, man, I've got to love that because race car drivers, you never forget. And you never want to get involved with somebody that is literally the size of a giant who could crush you. So I've never felt so small in my life, Rick. How do you squeeze into these race cars is beyond me. Has there been one that was actually a bit of a challenge for you? Because I just want to see you have to crawl inside of a legend. That would be pretty awesome.
Beat me. Actually, I raced a legend car one night. McFadden's had the old cow car legend car. I don't know if you remember that one, but he brought it. He messaged me, asked if I wanted to drive it. I said, if I can fit in there, I'll definitely drive it. I don't even really remember, to be honest, too many concussions from then till now, but I got in it and drove it. I was in the wrong gear half the night, and then got it in the right gear and drove up in the top 10 and ripped the fenders off her. And it was It was an eventful race, that's for sure.
Those are crazy little cars to drive, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's not a lot of off throttle time in those. You're on the gas a lot.
Be like Hightower Police Academy, just sit right at the back of the cab.
Yeah, for sure. That car was that's probably not the tightest. I think Corey's Super Stock's the tightest there. McAllister's I have to shift with my left hand because my right arm won't go back far enough with the seat that's in there. So I got to reach
No
over
way.
and shift. And I can't even turn the power or start the car. I got to start the car with my left hand and try and reach over. And I loosen the belts and then move over and get it going. But yeah, there's been a few tight cars, but I think his Super Stock's probably the tightest.
Well, you know, one of the things that I was really taken aback with was your driving determination with your injury. Was it last year or year before last year? I think it was, right?
Yeah,
and
last year.
And be able to work through that and be in pretty severe pain during the races. And we've seen obviously a bit of a change for you this year. Off the APC series, went to race at Riverside. And things maybe didn't go out that well. It's been a rough year, Rick. It's been Corey and I have had this conversation about the amount of motors that you guys have gone through this year. Is it something in the air, man, or is it just one of those things that you just want to give up now because it's just the amount of carnage and the amount of money in motorsports, especially when you've got that motor game souring on you, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare this year. It's been just absolute shit, to be honest with you. And we've been through a lot of stuff, but our team don't quit. Corey doesn't quit. Two Speed Motorsports never give up. Neither is Eldon Wallace. That helps me out. So we, I got my wife too. And son. They want to watch me race. They don't want me quitting yet. So every week I just get pushed more and more. Even when I take a step back and I just say, we're done. Like there's been Saturday nights I've left that track and I just said, we're done. I don't want to go back. I'm not having fun. APC was still what I wanted to do and we may end up going back to it. But at this point, I don't have any bad words to say about APC. It's just time and family that it just wasn't working out for me. So my son started racing and I can't be away from him at the track. So I did it last year. There was 3-4 races I wasn't there for. And those days were miserable for me at the racetrack. I didn't care to be there. And that's not how I want to be. So if we're doing something, it's usually, full effort, everything we got to go win. And we usually try not to unload a car that can't win a race. So this year's been really frustrating. Been chasing a lot of stuff with the car. So we got the best guys working on it still, and we're going to figure it out. It just got dropped off today to Brian McDonald's, and Junior's going there tomorrow. So I got two of the smartest guys in the game going to go right through that car from front to back, shocks, bumps, everything in that thing is going to be redone. And we're going to give her hell on Sunday. And I hope that we have a car to be there at the end. Right now it's a 15-lap shootout car, and then it's a piece of junk. So just been chasing a lot of things this year, and a lot of it comes down to time again. And I just don't have the time. I work for Caldecott Millwrights and Corey's company, and we're down in Brampton from Monday morning. I don't come home until Friday afternoon, and just having an afternoon and a bit of a morning before you got to go out and race isn't enough time to prepare these cars to be winning cars. And it's taken hours and hours. It's a second job, so you can't expect to beat these guys that are working on them all week, working on it 5 hours a week. So
yeah, I get, like, you've explained it pretty well. That's kind of how you deal. I mean, when you're getting kind of dealt the shitty hand, if you will, like, you have the support group of your wife and your son that want to see you racing, and you can't kind of turn your back on the guys that are working on the car and stuff too. So I mean, that's sort of incentive to come back, and I mean, it's got to be a struggle. And I understand how you're saying, like, when there's something at a job that you just it's the last place you want to be because all the fun's getting sucked out of it, and you have to kind of step back sometimes. And maybe those weeks where you do kind of step back, maybe that does help refocus you a little bit, eh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, also going to Riverside, that wasn't just to go race. I'd never been out east, and man, is it cool out there! Just the whole way out, a lot of hours of driving. But just my grandfather lent us his big RV, and my family pretty much rode out there together in it, and it was pretty cool to bond and hang out and just do the whole trip together with Eldon and my family, and Bakers too. Bakers are a big family of ours, extended family. We've been hanging out and buying cars and working with them for a lot of years. So just really cool to go do something. And if you've never seen the Riverside race or the IWK 250, man, you got to check that stuff out. I know we got big races coming here and stuff, but that's the shirt here, but host of ours on it. But it was just unbelievable atmosphere and the track and the people, man. Holy shit. I don't think I've seen, like, sometimes you shake your head when you look up at the crowd at Autumn Colors at Peterborough or the Velocity at Sunset and realize how packed the place is, but nothing compares to the IWK for sure.
Become a worldwide event. It's something that live stream, you get big name stars coming in there. Racing Carson Hocevar was part of that festivities this year. Obviously, competition is fierce. Didn't last as long for you, but is Riverside? We've talked a lot with NASCAR Pinning Series drivers, and they compare it to a Canada's Bristol, and it's the one track that tons of drivers have said that they want it to come back because on the schedule because it is so much fun. Is that what you experienced? Is it a really, really fun racetrack to drive?
Yeah, it's balls to the walls there, man. You're just the guy who designed Bristol. They actually brought him up here, and he designed Riverside and just shrunk it. So you drop into a hole, and the banking's like going into, well, Graydon would know, it's like going into turn one at Varney. It just dropped in there, and the amount of banking is just insane. But then you go down the other end, and it's the same, and the place is just so fast. You have to trust the car, and you have the thing buried to the floorboards, and you have to trust that you're going to have the side bite and the grip coming up off because you're going so fast that if it starts going, whew, I made a couple of saves there, and I've drove a long time, but I don't know. It's incredible.
You're going back, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's I'm not sure what next year's going to bring. I know with Corey and Strike Energy and Jim Wilson's, we have good sponsors, and they don't want us to, they want us to run against the best people and still win. So I don't know what at this point we have to have meetings and do all that stuff, but the Riverside stuff for sure, we're going to go and try and do that. There's been talk about possibly just putting on hold here a bit and going down south and running a couple of races, renting from guys, big name guys down there, sort of like what Steckley's doing. I was already in contact with Chris Mitchell, and we've been talking back and forth for a year now about trying to figure out and make it the right time. But the amount of money we're spending up here to run for a bag of peanuts is, I can go down, if I'm going to rent a car and run for 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, whatever it is down south. And yeah, maybe we don't win, maybe we do. But if you rent from the right people and do it right, look at Kyle's running right up front, and that's a lower team down there. It's not a low team. They have a really good team, but I'm just saying that's not a Donnie Wilson car or Anthony Campy car. So there's many teams down there you can go, and different avenues and different price ranges you can get into. So it's something I think, we've been around here for years and won championships at every track I can, basically, except for Flamborough. It just I didn't end up down there, but I'd love to maybe do that before I'm done. But we've done the circle, so there's not much left for us to do here other than have fun, and we're trying. But it's just, I don't know. I think this going down south and just doing the big races and big money races are where we need to be at this point in my career, rather than worrying about a Saturday night deal all the time.
And that's something, like you say, it's something that's in your wheelhouse because it's driving. but it's stuff that's going to put a smile on your face the whole time. I mean, not every minute necessarily of every trip down there, but I mean, doing those things, going down there, and like you say, you're not going down there and just running for like a bag of peanuts. You're going and running for some big bucks and running against some pretty formidable opponents, and that's a pretty cool thing to sit to puff your chest out when you come back home and say, I raced against so and so at insert track name here. You also have at home, you're, as you say, you're a family man, and you got your young fella coming up and watching Jake. We were there for when he first wheeled out at Sunset in the mini stock. So talk about being a racer yourself, being a dad, and being a racer's dad.
Yeah, I didn't realize that being a racer's dad would be probably the coolest part of racing for me in my whole life, because I don't know, I just, any dad that's out there probably knows the feeling, but I don't think you ever have anybody out on the racetrack with you or around you that you would love as much as your son. So it's pretty cool. It's been a lot of fun for us, and man, he finished second in a heat race, and his last weekend he ran 20 laps we tried to get him qualified in, and he was close. He had a good run in the last chance. He was running fifth and got loose and ended up sixth, and they took the top three from each one. So it was 41 friggin' mini stocks, and he was it was like second. He'd had, I don't know, maybe 150 laps in a car, and he was 30th in the time chart. So that's pretty cool. And then he ran a 17-1 this weekend. He was running 16-7. So to pick up 4 to 5 tenths is insane without practicing. Everyone thought he practiced, and he goes out. I said, do you want to start up front in your heat race tonight? He said, yeah, I'm not going to learn if I don't run with them. And I said, well, you run with them in practice. It's no different. So just go. And the little bugger took off and leading the heat race. And I'm like, perverts row at the strippers up there at the fence. I was having a blast cheering him on. Looked like an idiot up there. But, man, he led the heat race for a bit. And then ran the outside of the 27 Mustang there for 3-4 laps and fell in behind him and finished second. I was like, holy shit. And Peter Shellswell was there, and I've been involved with them for a long time and stuff. And he grabs me and he goes, you're in trouble. You're in trouble now. And I say, oh, it's just got expensive. Like, so, yeah. And not that it isn't already expensive, but it's just, I don't know how to explain the emotion of it. It's definitely, I think, what I've wanted my whole life, I guess. It's just, it's awesome.
It's something you never knew you wanted until you got it, right?
Yeah, you get to see somebody succeed that, isn't you, and it's somebody that's close to you. And we've seen Jake race in the junior lates and be successful there, very successful there. And the mini stock division, I mean, Graydon, I tell him all the time, because I'll tell anybody that listens, the mini stock division at Sunset is quite possibly my favorite division in all of racing, because the talent level, the people that are in it is just full of knowledge. I mean, you've raced against, I've been lucky enough to watch these guys and gals race several times this year, but you actually have history with some of these competitors dating back to Barrie Speedway. And one of the things that we always want to do here on our show is talk about it, because I never got the opportunity to see a race there. And it kills me that I didn't ever get to see a race. So we've asked this of other competitors that raced at Barrie. Do you have a memory on that track and what it raced like, and just memories of Barrie Speedway?
Yeah, like, probably don't even forget my second practice in my mini stock there. I lived there. I was raised there. I partied there. I went from not being able to drink to drinking way too much, and I used to. The party there was crazy, man. You used to race the night through. At the end of the night, I lived the racetrack's on the 8th line. I'm on the 11th line, so I'd load my car up. I'd drive home, drop the car off, drive back with my pickup truck, and then party till the sun came up. And yeah, it's I remember I went out. My uncles wanted me to learn how to drive with a loose race car, so they put the rear tires on backwards on my Mustang, and I went out there and I was just drifting around every corner, sideways. And finally, it was Brad Moran that was running it, who obviously now is pretty high up in NASCAR, which is cool. He walked over and banged his flag on the side of the car, and he said, if you can hang on to that, you're going to be a hell of a race car driver the rest of your life. And man, that stuck with me forever. I remember guys, Donnie Hahn used to come over, and Gord Shepard and all those guys, and Dave Lewis, Keith McLeod. Those guys, when I went out in a 4-cylinder, they used to make sure they went to the fence, because I would be the guy that'd be 3 wide against the wall just giving her. And I always told them before I went out, you watch, I'll put on a show for you. And we always tried to, and had a lot of fun with the mini stock stuff back then. And there's still some people around that are running mini stocks, or they've moved up through. And Al Ingalls has always been good with me and good to me, and always steer. He as big and fire red as he is, he's a pretty calm individual, and he's pretty good at calming you down. So yeah, there's been a lot of really, really good memories at Barrie Speedway. Winning 9 out of 18 late model races in my rookie year was unbelievable.
Holy
we should have
shit.
won the championship. And yeah, when you win 50% of the races, you're in for a NASCAR championship. You should win it. But that was back when Gord and I used to like to fight. So we may have got 0 points for a couple of deals. But anyways, yeah, it was just awesome time. And even running for Gord, I can't, I never take anything away from the guy. He taught me a lot. And maybe sometimes now it's like Baker, right? Baker and Gord probably taught me the most in my career out of anybody. And Tommy Walters is just hanging out with the right people, and they just teach you a lot of things. And running for Gord, when I ran for him, we won back-to-back championships in his super stock, and it wasn't no prize super stock when they cut it apart. The thing was, it was bent pretty good, but I just, I'm grateful for all the opportunities I've had along the way and the people that have helped me out. And even if we argue and fight with them, I get over shit pretty quick and can grab a beer and just go the next direction with them, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just, I work hard on my stuff. And ever since Eldon Wallace came around and gave me everything I need, I've still been the guy in the shop. Our stuff didn't go to McCall's 7 times a week, or like everyone thinks, or go to Junior every week. I got the base set up, and I work on the shit in the shop and try and get it right and make my stuff the best I can. Lately, it's been a lot more of trusting other people because I'm so busy. So I see the other side of it. But at the same point, nothing's handed to you in this sport at all. And the amount of sponsors that are out there, everyone knows the same sponsors. They come from friends, family, local companies. You're not getting big companies at this point for our short track racing. So everyone's after the same people, I see people weekly going to Corey, wanting sponsorship, wanting help, wanting tires. And he's probably one of the most generous guys you're ever going to meet that owns a company. And he helps way more people than anybody will ever know. And that man has taught me a lot of how to handle other people too, because he races against everyone. Saturday night he had a motor. I'm not going to say whose cars or anything, but he had a motor in one car. He had a carburetor on another car. He had shocks or something on another car. He's racing against all these guys for a championship, and he's giving them, parts. And that's kind of how we were. We always had new stuff in our pit car, and if someone came over and needed it, we lent it out. And, that's just, it's how racing is. You might hate the guy, but if they need something so you can go maybe rough it up with them in the next feature, you still give it to them.
That's totally it, man. Like everything, like the names you just rhymed off that, like you say, sometimes you're not the best of friends and you're not going to exchange Christmas cards and that sort of thing. But like, man, the people that you've been like, that you've cut your teeth with, that you've raced with, that you've thrown a punch or whatever at, like that's amazing amount of people that like make you who you are today. And then also what you've said about how you're doing the stuff in your shop, and if something happens where you get fenced for some stupid ass reason or like whatever scenario, that is going to hit harder with you. If you're the guy that's doing that work, if you're not getting out of the car pissed off because something's bent that you worked on, then maybe you shouldn't be there anyways in the seat. So I mean, that I get that totally, man. If you're working on that stuff and it like getting used up needlessly, I mean, you have every right to speak your mind, and in the heat of the moment, sometimes shit does get kind of crazy, but I mean, that is part of racing too.
Yeah. It's just like, if I'm going to spend an extra 30 hours a week on my stuff and I get junked, then you're going to know about it, because
For sure.
I might not have the time the next week, but I still got to figure out how to do it and how to get everything done and back to the racetrack. So yeah, it's everyone knows I have a temper. Everyone knows, if you can piss me off or not piss me off, they know how to push my buttons. I've raced. The thing is, it's a small group, man. Like, it doesn't matter what track you go to. It's the same damn people you race every week. So when you have, I don't care what you say, when you go to racetrack, any racetrack in Ontario, anywhere, right up to NASCAR, you got 5 good cars on any given night. I'm just saying, those 5 cars are the fast ones that night. So those 5 are the ones you're going to race almost every night you go to that racetrack. And now Sunset's just, you got Gordon, you got Baker, you got House, Mombercat's running amazing. Good for him.
Yeah.
That team, for a low budget. Honestly, I can't say low budget. I don't know if they are or not. I don't think they have the money a lot of teams do, but man, he's doing a great job and he's learned a ton, and I've tried to help him too. And I don't know. I go to the track and I coach people. I was on the radio for Burroughs on the weekend, and that kid probably ran the best feature he's ever run that I've been able to watch. And just trying to coach him, he just listens, and that's what you need to. Is that I can go to the track and try and help anybody, but they're just going to ask me what to do, and then they're going to ask the next guy what to do. And I'm pretty sure I got Sunset figured out, so I like to make everybody faster that I can and help them out. Like, I don't know, it's just.
See, you can't bugger off. You got too much. There's too many people hitting you up for advice, and like you're an elder statesman now, man. You're a source of info.
The problem is, as soon as I want to quit, everyone wants me to drive their car. So mine we haven't even run as much, and I've won 4 races this year, and it's been in 4 different race cars. So that's, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, that's a pretty cool stat. I mean, ran Noah Seth, I won in my late model, won in Corey's super stock, and then the hot rod. And so I also have, those are, I don't know, it's pretty cool and they're different tracks too. So I just love the short tracks in Ontario. And even if I do stop driving, which I don't know when, but I'll be happy. I've done a lot in racing, and been fortunate enough to climb the ladder and do a lot of really cool things. So, one last thing is probably want to run. I know the Pinty's cars, really, I think our late models are better cars than the Pinty's cars, and we can argue about that all day, but I just think we got better stuff in our cars than the Pinty's do. But that's what makes them hard to drive and what makes them lumber wagons, people call them, whatever they want to call them. But I still want to race one of those, get one race in at Sunset and show them I can run with them too. And that's really, I don't see much more other than I don't want to push Jake too quick, but I want to be there every step of the way to make sure I can teach him every single thing I know. And he already knows some things that, like, I started racing mini stock at 13 years old, and he's 13 now, and he's already got two and a half years of junior late in him that he was running and messing around. So he has more experience than I did at this age. So, and he's got, man, Trayton Lapsevich was at the racetrack on Saturday night, and he spent 90% of his time that he was there down at Jake's mini stock, where we bring it on. We showed up with an open trailer, old school tools out of the back, old air compressor. I didn't have our tent. I didn't bring our big trailer, none of that shit. We just went and redneck hillbillied it like everybody else, like we should. And he ran the best he has. Trayton hung out by the car, giving him tips, showing him what he's seen. Jordan House was over helping him. And then the mini stock guys, Cameron McGlashan and Doug Butler and a bunch, Seaboyer, they love him. He just gets along with everyone. So he's right in the groups with the right people. And I already see that, he's headed in the right direction, just talking with the right people to learn as much as he can. And you see it on the racetrack. So that's all I care. I just want him to give it his all every night, and it's all we can ask for.
You definitely see it. I mean, we saw Layla Walzer's first mini stock race, and admittedly, it was terrible. It was not a good one at all. But then we go and see her, and she wins heat races at Sauble, close to a couple feature wins. Outran my buddy over here when he raced out at.
Oh, she's Sauble. Yeah. Layla
But
smoked that poor Honda.
yes, yeah, she did.
For a girl, she has a big set. I'll tell you. I watched her on when we were over there, and I was like, "Whew, man,
Yeah.
she is fearless. If she can control the
Yeah.
fearlessness and the craziness, and just focus it all on hitting the same lap every time, she's going to be dangerous and be very, very good. I think probably anything she wants to go drive from here on
Agreed.
out. Just needs to calm it down just a little bit. But yeah, I for some reason have always followed the women drivers and supported them and tried to get more of them involved, because I think our sport needs more women in it, and they need more notice. Amanda Balsam, I talked to her all the time, and helped her at the racetrack and spotted for her at Sunset and Peterborough and shit like that. And I just, all of them, Andrea and Madison and Carly and all of them that are running, just keep doing it. Just keep proving people wrong, because we need as many women as we do boys in the sport, guys in the sport, whatever. If they're not there, then we don't have the cars either. So just keep having fun and pushing on.
Absolutely. We love having and supporting the ladies of the Oval. That's why they're on our uniform, because we do want to see more of them out there. Samantha Shaw running two late model features, finishing top 5 in both of them this past weekend, and she's also somebody else that's proving her time in the division. And Rick, obviously one of the things that you like to do is, you said, being able to coach, and obviously we're very excited that you came in and raced with our OSS series this year. You kind of spanked the field. It didn't really end the way that we would have wanted, but because it kind of everything overshadowed what you did. Is you won in your very first OSS start, which so far I have yet to find anybody that has done it, aside from obviously the very first race back in 07. But obviously running that, you've also ran for Luke Janac in the modified this year. But I'm going to ask you a question based off of your coaching side of it. And there's a ton of talent out at Sunset Speedway, ton of talent all over Ontario. Who is some name? You mentioned Cole Burrows previously. Who's some names that you think will be future or will be talked about in the coming years, aside from Jake Spencer-Walt, that could be future stars in motorsports?
Well, obviously the obvious answer would be Kyle Steckley, who's lighting it up right now. He has all the support at the right time, at the right age, and that's what you need to. But for every Saturday night, Kyle's probably going to go on to do great things, which I cheer him on the whole way. And I really hope that kid, the family, they deserve it. They've been in racing a long time. And if anyone gets, the opportunity to go, I hope he gets to do what JR did back in the day, or even better. We need somebody to be down there representing us who is respectable, the family, everything. They're just great people. So that for one, but just your Saturday night stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a name that probably not I don't know how many people know his name or anything, but the Booth family that's at Sunset are very good people. Brian and his son Jacob. I haven't met Jacob a lot, but that kid he pushed that bone stock to the limit every lap, which was pretty cool to see. And I hear they're moving to a super stock, which I really hope they do. And I don't know. I think they seem like redneck enough, He's drove a lot of stuff since he was a kid, and his dad with the towing business, he probably grew up steering the truck back so his dad could hook some shit up or whatever. But that's what you need. You need to get your kid. If you want your kid to race, they got to be out early. They got to be, might sound bad. Jake's 13, but when we go ride these sleds, he has a 22 850 XCR he drives. It's his mom's. We got it off Dwayne Baker, and I have a Sidewinder. So that's what we ride. And yeah, they're fast and stuff, but we're responsible with it. Like, I don't let him just give her, but he's had go-karts and dirt bikes and four-wheelers and everything I could get him on, because nowadays is way different than when I grew up or you guys grew up, because we used to be able to, go to the store. Well, I don't know how old everyone is. I'm 37 this year, 36, but I used to go to the store with a note and get my mom cigarettes. Not endorsing that to anybody, but that's just, like you could drive a four-wheeler down the side of the road. You could steer your mom's car home from from church or from town or from wherever and not get in trouble. And I put Jake on my lap around here a few times and got messages and calls. Oh, you can't have him there if the airbag goes off. Oh, please, man. I was smashing shit into each other in my grandpa's wrecking yard at his age. So that's probably the best thing I had growing up in a wrecking yard. But anyways, back to the original question. I have got to know them a little bit, and Brian's a really good guy, another dad that's there supporting his son. And I'm pretty sure Brian used to tow way back in the day at Sunset Speedway, and when I raced there as a rookie in a super stock. I think he had his tow truck in there and stuff. So pretty cool. They've been around a long time. I hope his son does as well in the super stock as he did in that. And I guess maybe on the women's side of things, I have to say a woman too, because we can't just go with guys. But Andrea is doing a great job. People are, bickering, complaining, and whining about stuff. And I was there Saturday night. She still has to drive that car regardless. So, I mean, you can cheat a car up all you want sometimes, and you're still not going to win. So, to everyone that's just chirping her, I just lay off, man. It's she's out there driving and still running up front no matter what. So, and she's going to do it all next year too. They're going to eventually catch all these computers. So it's not just one out there that everyone thinks it is. It's sometimes when you're, 7th, 8th, and 9th, you're cheating worse than the leaders trying to catch them. So it's how it's always been. And I wish her luck too. And, and I've known Cameron a long time. So it's a pretty cool relationship. They got both racing. And I hope she does more things. Samantha's doing good. Kendra runs good in her limited. So I think Sunset really has the,
leading the way,
going big time. Yeah, it's
leading the way.
Cool. They got some help in there and lots of advertising, pumping everything up. It's some really cool shit that they got going on there. And Brian and Sandra are kind of letting people throw their ideas in, which I think is just making the place grow. And the fan counts, I think, been up. They could answer on that more, but I'm pretty sure like it's been cool to be around there and see all the people.
Yeah, considering I can speak to our OSS race last year. It was pretty sad when we were there, and this time around, it looked very scary. Graydon, right? We were going, where's the crowd? And then all of a sudden at race time, she filled up, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't see that coming at all."
Yeah, every time you looked out at the gate, there was more people coming. And that's being a great crowd.
It's great.
I think Alcona growing's been huge for it too, because there's all the beaches down along there. So they probably, it's turned into sort of like a Sobel deal where they're up for the weekend and they're, they're enjoying. And then all of a sudden at night, what do you do? So, let's go to the races and watch Rick drive over somebody or whatever.
Well,
make a t-shirt and
we would wrap it up, but we can't without touching on you being a viral sensation that made it onto Door Bumper Clear. I mean, you've made it, Rick. You've made it onto Dirty Mo Media. They kind of got your name right. I think they just said Rick Walt instead of Rick Spencer-Walt, but we'll take it. You got t-shirts made out of the deal. I don't condone ever doing that type of stuff myself, but I will tell you as a fan, I loved every minute. Did you expect that was going to blow up like it did?
No. That wasn't the plan at all. Travi and I have been buddies for a long time. I've had a rough year and things have, finally just boiled over. And I told him after the first feature, he got into me and I said, you do it again, I'm not going to put up with it. So if you want to smash off me, go ahead. And then next feature, we have 3 restarts in a row. We can't even get the start of the race going. And on the 4th one, he dives her in underneath and I get spun out on the outside on lap 1. And I was like, it's the 4th restart. I just had enough. So I did what I did. And then the interview came after. And the thing was, that was lap 1. It was lap 1. So now I'm in the pits for a 35 lap feature and my cooler has ice cold beer in it. So I'm going to drink it. And I was slamming them. So by the time they came down for that interview, I was ready. And anyways, it's just, there's things I shouldn't have said. And I don't know. You can't take anything back. So I'm just going to stand by what I said and stand up for myself. And nowadays you can't punch people in the face anymore. So you got to use your race car to destroy shit. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. You used to get out, you punch the guy in the face in the next race. He had some respect for you and the same shit didn't happen. And now we got all these participation ribbon kids, and racing isn't a participation sport. It's you win or you lose. So, I'm just tired of being on the losing end. So someone else was with me. That's all.
A bloody nose is a lot cheaper than reclipping a car.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's just how it is. Everyone wants to call the cops and charge everybody nowadays. And the respect is just, that's the problem with racing, in my opinion, is the respect level has dropped so much because of it. Guys just don't know anymore. They don't know what it used to be like. You just go wreck them and then you stand by your car and go, oh, whatever. Sorry.
So,
well, sorry doesn't fix it. So,
Rick, does this come? This is a good topic because we brought this up with a couple other racers. Where did that respect get lost? Did it start from the top at NASCAR's top levels where people just started wrecking shit that's multi-million dollars,
monkey do type thing,
and people have just decided that, oh, I'm just as big as that NASCAR star, so I'm going to do the same thing?
I don't know. I think NASCAR kind of had the boys have at it kind of attitude for a bit there. And then every young kid that came in, I don't know, they're spending so much money. They have to win or they're gone in a year. And that's just the reality of it. Is if you get a really good sponsor, you might have them a year to 3 years. The time span on big sponsors in this sport isn't long. So if you don't perform, then you lose the sponsor. And, if the sponsor's at the track and you move a guy and win, nobody ever talks about a dirty move. Your sponsor's just happy you're in victory lane getting a photo. So I think that started some of it, but I think it's just the way the world's going, man. It's, I have my opinions and everyone will have theirs. And, bullying and stuff like that isn't exactly where, where anything should be. And yeah, I've been a bully to people. I get it, but I don't say I'm not a bully. I'm out there to race. My circle's small and I could talk to you on Saturday night, but I want to, I don't know. I just want to race everybody and have respect, but it just won't come back. Like body slamming people now for wins and turning them and spinning them is easier to win than to drive by that guy. And that's back in the day. I moved a couple people and I wasn't always this big. I was 13 and 14 and I was small, and I got, I got into it with a few people that taught me lessons too. Sean Murray's one of them. Sean Murray and I, we got at her at Barrie Speedway, and he's like a few years older than I am. And at the time it was just me against him. And, he just taught you can't push everybody around. And then just, I don't know, the respect needs to come back, but it just never will. It's just the way the world is, They had bike races at sunset on Saturday night, and these kids are just losing it because they didn't win and throwing helmets and shit. And I'm like, man, you can't give everyone a ribbon. Like that's how life's going now. And baseball. My buddy has a kid in baseball. I said, well, who won? Well, nobody really wins. They just, nobody keeps score. I'm like, the hell with that, man. Somebody lost. Like, you suck. Or they need to be told something. Like. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I could ramble all night about that.
Well, I think character building, though, right?
I think it does though bring up a good point in a way though, because you very rarely do you win in racing. You lose a lot.
Statistically, you lose a hell of a lot more than you win. Some people go 0 for every race they frigging run.
Let's just say you buy a race car and you've lost already because there's money going out the door that you're sure as hell not going to get back, right? So. It definitely, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think racing in a way does do really good things for the young kids because they learn right away whether they're going to win or not. Things aren't always going to work. Sometimes the car doesn't work. Sometimes the car doesn't go fast enough. Sometimes rules are made and sometimes stuff happens that you can't control and you don't like. But unfortunately, it's reactions that and impressions that people get from others, it is a tough deal. I mean, obviously we see it across all different types of motorsports. And, I think there's a lot of things that we wish we could fix across the board. But one thing that we are really happy about is the fact that we got Rick Spencer-Walt here for Imagewraps.ca month. One of the best looking rides, you and Jake. Now, you did say Jake's car did look better than yours. I will agree that I actually thought it turned out a little bit. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just because of the size of the junior late. But now I'm excited to see what the wrap will look like for next year. Whatever Jake ends up running, if he's going to run the mini stock again next year. But we always like to give an opportunity for you, Rick, to shout out your partners. They're the ones that get you to the racetrack. And of course, anybody else that you want to thank that's helped you out this year. This is your opportunity to shout them out.
Yeah, definitely. First, my crew. I got Robbie Sykes spots for me. My uncle's there. It's a pretty family built team, best friends. And I got Kyle that's always at the shop helping me. And his wife lets him be with me more than her half the time. We work together and everything. So it's my family and my smoking hot wife, everyone that helps me there is it's been great. And then our sponsors, Strike Energy Systems, came on last year for APC, and it's just been we couldn't do it without them. Just great family too. Now they're racing junior lates and stuff, so it's pretty cool. 2-Speed Motorsports, CM Precision. Corey's just we become really good friends, and what he's done for me in racing, I'll never forget. Same as Eldon. Eldon's done so much for me that if you find these people, you gotta stick with them, treat them right, help them whenever you can. Just try and keep everything rolling, because like I said, you don't know how long stuff will last. Corey has kids; they're gonna race at some point too. So it's you got to thank them people all the time. I got Buyers Equipment Motorsports, Jim Wilson Chevrolet in Aurelia, Imagewraps.ca obviously wraps the stuff, and it's just beautiful. He did a great job on our cars this year. He's done our t-shirts and stuff. He's taken care of me pretty good so far. So it's a pretty good, awesome company. Heidi's RV, Epic Racewear, Short Track Musings, and then stickers and scuffs. Obviously, you guys are on there too. Motorsport Alley, Hanley Enterprise. I can't do any of this without Junior Hanley's help. Right now, he's going to head up in the morning and go up there with BMAC and work on the stuff. So it's two really good people I have in my corner that are helping me right now. And I hope we get it turned around and Sunday turns out amazing for us. Like nothing more than to park it in the Hanley race. He's been helping Baker and myself all year, and for many years. I was with Mike for a couple of years, but before that, all my wins came from Junior, and a ton of them. My brother helped me for a while, but most of my championships all came with Junior. So been pretty cool. Lots of people helping us out, and if I forgot anyone, sorry. We're pretty busy and lots going on. So just thanks to everybody that helps us and fans that support us and buy our t-shirts and all that stuff.
Well, Grady, let's wrap it up.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, let's wrap it up.
We thank you for your time, man, and wish you all the best going forward. And also with Jake coming along with his racing too. Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate having me on, taking up some of your time. Hopefully people enjoy watching this, and maybe we'll do it again. I feel like they will.
I feel like we went over some good stuff, and we have some good quotes, and you know, at the end of the day, we might have to stick the slogan as the episode title. So what was it again, Rick?
Fuck around and find out.
That's here on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Segue.
Nice.